more accepting now and all this, do you think that there is an actual push from the schools and that makes these kids actually identify these things because the teachers are pushing it on kids?
Yes, it is being pushed on kids, partially because our culture has separated sex from love. These kids today, they can get on the phone, they can see pornography. It's the whole idea of it's just sex. It's just, doesn't mean anything.
So you were just talking about a video that was shown.
That guy just destroyed. He destroyed the gays, okay? That was a kill shot to the movement. Because we have separated sex and love, people are the people. They're becoming trans at higher rates. This is because sex has been separated from love. Destroyed. Oh.
Class.
Let's see this conversation.
What's up, guys? This is Will with Prager U. Today we are at the Glendale Unified School District where we are talking with parents and teachers talking about teaching LGBTQ education to children. Let's do it. And guys, remember, if you are here on YouTube, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell button so that you never miss a new upload from Prager U. So why are you here today?
Okay, guys. We gotta do what he says. I mean, I think we're basically at, like, an obligation to subscribe to Prager U. After they see something like that, that was compelling. That got me to subscribe right there. Holy shit.
Because I think it's absolutely ridiculous that we have to fight for the safety of our children.
You say fight for the safety of our children. What do you mean by that?
With the right-wing parents that are out there, the very small number of parents who feel like their children are going to be swayed in some way, that to change their sexual orientation, they just don't get it. That's not the way it works.
If your kid is straight, you don't have to worry about your kid suddenly becoming gay. They're straight, like they're not, and if they are gay, that's okay. Why is that a problem? Why is it a problem for it to be pushed on children?
We need to educate kids. It's a different world. These kids are seeing all about transgender and gay and lesbian.
I can't fucking stand the music in the background. You hear this?
And polyamorous. They're seeing it all over. And
it sounds like a YouTube Minecraft tutorial video in the background there. I think that somebody's about to teach me how to build a Minecraft 4x4, 1x1 flush piston door, whatever the fuck, 2x2 flush piston door, whatever. You get my point, all right? It sounds like we're gonna hear a YouTube tutorial. I'm surprised we haven't heard an Indian man coming over the voice to tell us what's going on, how to fix our computer. Okay? What the fuck? Why did they choose that song? They are Prager U. They have the money funded to them by oil companies, okay? By the Coal brothers, okay? What the fuck? What are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing with their sound design? Not the sound design, but with their audio. Why this song specifically? Surely you can pay to either commission something or to buy the rights to use something. What would you call it? License something out, right? Surely you can. But no, they force us to suffer through the fucking tutorial music in the background. Why? Why do they do that to us?
Questions. If they hear it just from their parents, they're hearing a very skewed view of what they think transgender is.
Not everyone is the same. Not everyone is going to have a mother and a father. They might have two moms. They might have two dads. You might have a boyfriend and a boyfriend.
People talk about it like when it comes to third graders and what happened in Florida and all that, that even third grade is too early for a lot of this stuff because of, some of these things might be inherently sexual. And so what do you say to that third grade is too early?
I'd like to chime in that I think that that's just diminishing the LGBT community as only being about sex.
There's an uptick right now in America. They did survey results and they found that the amount of people identified as LGBT before was very small, and now those numbers have really skyrocketed, especially for Gen Z, this next generation. And a lot of people will say, oh, it's just because we're more accepting now and all this. Do you think that there is an actual push from the schools and that makes these kids actually identify these things because the teachers are pushing it on kids?
Yes, it is being pushed on kids, partially because our culture has separated sex from love. These kids today, they can get on the phone, they can see pornography. It's the whole idea of it's just sex. It's just, doesn't mean anything.
So you were just talking about a video that was shown.
That guy just destroyed. He destroyed the gays, okay? That was a kill shot to the movement. Because we have separated sex and love, people are the people. They're becoming trans at higher rates. This is because sex has been separated from love. Destroyed. Oh.
Dumped class. What was that video and how old were the kids?
The kids were third graders, so they're about 8 or 9 years old. And the video in question was, I believe, an MTV personality in a roundtable discussion with children. The host mentioned that, oh, well, when she was a child, she remembers watching a movie with Jodie Foster in the nude, and that's how she discovered that she might be attracted to the same sex. So we're talking about sexual attraction with a bunch of 8-year-olds, which has, in my opinion, no place in a classroom of kids that age. That topic just does not belong in the classroom at all, no matter what orientation is being discussed. This protest behind me.
I mean, at the very least, she's being consistent. I think the problem is a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, I'm totally okay with people like knowing our children being seen to like heterosexual relationships. So they like, introduce them into like, for example, stories where there's love between a man and a woman. But the problem only arises whenever it's between like a same-sex couple, right? It's the person saying, well, I don't think it belongs in the classroom no matter what's being discussed, right? Which orientation is going to be shown to these children, right? At the very least, we have that. I don't know. I just genuinely don't think the issue that people are trying to bring up that's like, oh yeah, this is being pushed on children is something that is very common, right? I don't think commonly speaking, children are being taught, yeah, you should be gay, all right? Let's go talk about raunchy anal sex in front of the classroom full of kids, right? That's just not happening. It's not happening, all right? What people are being taught, or what these children are being taught, is like, hey, there could be like attraction between people who are of the same sex, right? They can become they should have a relationship, right? They can be either two moms, two dads, things like that. No one is going into a classroom and again discussing raunchy anal sex. It's just not happening. And if it was, I'd be totally against that, right? We probably shouldn't be discussing that with like super young children. It's probably too young for them to be able to fully process that. But it doesn't mean that we cannot have any discussion as far as like people being gay is concerned, right? Because as again the person said, there is a difference between like sex and love, right? There can be that distinction can be made. So if we talk to people about like, well, two people can just be like romantically attracted to one another, and they can maybe like take each other out, or they could be a couple together, right? Something of that nature. That doesn't really seem to be much of a problem, at least to me.
Was planned to make it seem like we are against LGBT people in general, which we are not. We just don't want sexuality discussed in the classroom.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. As you can see, a lot of the parents and the teachers here will come and say that all this is about inclusion and love, but what it's really about is an attack on your children, an attack on...
This guy interviewed like 6 people. 4 of them were incredibly positive. 2 of them, or 1 person was negative. The other person was just like, maybe we don't have it in the discussion. The guy's like, so... after getting down on the ground and interviewing all of these people, what I can conclude is that it's actually an attack, all right? They're trying to teach your kids to be gay, all right? And we don't want that. Here at Prager U, we're about conservative like this. There's no way this guy went and talked to these people, showed these interviews, and expected that we were going to agree with them. Like, there's no way. These interviews are incredibly positive. The people who are talking about it are not talking like, hey, we should teach kids about gay sex, all right? We should teach them about how dicks can go in butts and how it can feel, okay? Nobody's talking about that. Nobody even like suggested that. I think one guy was just like, hey, it's kind of demeaning to the LGBTQ to just say it's only about sex, right? You could teach people about gay relationships without teaching them about sex, right? That was even brought up as a point against what he was saying. And this guy walked away with like, yep, it's an attack on the kids. They're attacking the children. Dude, this is making me a little bit mad. This guy went out to talk with people and didn't hear a single thing.
On American values. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you share with your friends.
Nobody said it was an attack on American values. None of the people he talked to said it was an attack on American values. Not a single one. No one even suggested that. Not even remotely. What?
Comment your thoughts down below. We're gonna see you in the next one. See you guys. Yeah.
What?
Thank you. Appreciate
I'm listening to this. Like again, he says it.
We are not.
love, but what it's really about is an attack on your children, an attack on American values. If you
It's
enjoyed
an attack on American values. Who said that? Which of the people you interviewed said that? Who suggested that? What? Oh shit. I fucked it up. I fucked up my screen. Sorry about that. No, this guy's just, what the fuck?
parents and the teachers here will come and say that all this is about inclusion and love, but what it's really about is an attack on your children, an attack on American values. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you share with your friends.
This is pathetic. This is more than being propaganda, okay? More than being something that is just, it pushes things that I think are just incorrect. It's a badly done pushing of those things that I think are incorrect. It's poorly put together. There's no way you watch this as like a neutral viewer. You come into this and you see a bunch of people saying, hey, we probably should teach kids that like being gay is a thing. People can, like, men can love men, women can love women. That's okay. That's all right. And then one person says, hey, I saw something on MTV where it was like a little bit too sexual. I think that should be kept out of the classroom. No matter what it's about, that should be kept out of the classroom. And then you had like, I think it was either, it looked like a teacher of some kind. The guy was way too well dressed. So he said something like, let's rewind back. Let's actually hear what this guy said, because I forgot what he said directly.
Those numbers are LGBT. They did survey results, and they found that the amount of people identified as LGBT before was very small, and now those numbers have really skyrocketed, especially for Gen Z, this next generation. And a lot of people will say, oh, it's just because we're more accepting now and all this. Do you think that there is an actual push from the schools, and that makes these kids actually identify as these things because the teachers are pushing it on kids?
Yes, it is being pushed on kids, partially because...
I don't even know if this guy's like a principal or like who this guy is. He looks way too formally dressed to be here. I don't know why he's in an entire suit and tie. He looks like the kind of guy who he looks like either a principal or a vice principal is how he's dressed. I have no idea. They never tell us who this guy is. Will Witt. Is that the guy who was interviewing? No, that is the guy who's interviewing. Yeah, we never get a name for this guy. I have no idea what he does.
Our culture has separated sex from love. These kids today, they can get on the phone, they can see...
This guy just talks about pornography. He just talks about how they separate sex from love. Nobody remotely says it's an attack on American values. This guy comes in at the very end. So, I don't know why I'm doing this with my hand. I can do it with a microphone. So, in conclusion, we have learned that it has been an attack on American values, and that's why the gays are pushing this. No one even remotely insinuates that. What? I'm so done with these channels, dude. These people get paid to push this kind of thing. Oh boy. Thank you so much for showing me that. That made my day, like, reasonably better.